Good morning, my dear students and my friends. At this lockdown stage, it is little bit difficult to access the lab and we cannot go for the practicals. So today we shall be discussing about the practical genetics, pedigree analysis, how to solve it, how to solve a given pedigree for the NEET, KCET, PUC practical, and also for IIT JAM, graduate aptitude test for biotech, and many more examination deals with this kind of pedigree problems. So today's video will deal with the simple and beginners level. Also, you can go for genetic practical and genetic counseling. The counseling part is very important. For example, suppose if you have a family pedigree and you know this person's ancestors suffered from hemophilia or any genetic disorder like color blindness, so in that way you can decide the probability of inheriting a certain genetic trait to its offspring. So let's come to the definition of it. It is a practical approach and you have given a table through which you can study. So definition is very simple. It is a family tree. For example, you could be given a family tree like this and you have some genetic symbol. So it is totally based on symbolism. So you have some standard. It is not mnemonic or non-standardized. There are some standard genetic symbol. So it is a genealogical table. We call them as a genealogical two-dimensional table that represent the ancestry of an individual as well as the inheritance of some certain disease. Like you can see the hemophilia in the Queen Victoria's inheritance pedigree chart. Pedigree is not a dog biscuit here. It means a genealogical table that represent the ancestry of the individual as well as the inheritance pattern. Patterns means the what way they are inheriting to the next generation. So here you have some mode of inheritance and construction part. So normally in the chart, circle represents without embossed a normal female. A square represents a normal male. A embossed or filled circle represent a female with a genetic trait. It could be hemophilia, phenylketonuria, anything. And if I use one arrow, it denotes it is a proband. What does it mean? It means the phenotype that was first discovered or first came into the attention by the geneticist or the counselor. Now, this person ascertaining or confirming the particular inheritance. For example, if I say you discovered this particular female first suffered in albinism, so she will be proband or she will be regarded as the proband. Similarly, square that is embossed or filled we call male with the trait. Here, the trapezium, the rhombus-like structure, sorry, this kind of structure represents the unspecification of the gender. Half filled square or circle means male carrying allele or trait but doesn't express. So you can use this symbol also for the carrier. Means its gene carries the trait but it doesn't express. So these are the carrier and so on and so forth. So first we have to know how to analyze a pedigree. There could be 5 different types of pedigree that we can study. So either a pedigree could be dominant. I shall be discussing how to identify a pedigree is dominant or recessive. So there could be 2 different pedigree. Either it is a dominant or recessive. There are 3 different types of pedigree based on the chromosome that we carry. We carry X chromosome, we carry a small Y chromosome in males, and also we carry the autosomes. So depending on the different chromosomes, it could be autosomal dominant, it could be X-linked dominant, it could be Y-linked dominant. But remember, Y-linked chromosome, if it is carrying any disorder, it definitely get expressed in the male. So there is no chance of having X-linked recessive. Definitely, sorry, Y-linked recessive. You have autosomal recessive disorder or you have a X-linked recessive disorder, but never you have a Y-linked disorder. But the problem is that this calculation is totally based on the information collected from a particular family. So this is the 5 main important types of pedigree that we need to analyze. Now come to the real life problems. Now suppose you have a given a pedigree chart and you have to tell what is the mode of transmission. They will ask you what is the mode of transmission. Then your answer will come, it is autosomal dominant or recessive, that should be the answer, or they could ask you otherwise. So let me tell you some basic things. This line is called as a line of mating or marriage. That means a male gets married with a female, and this is the line of offspring or descendant. Now you can see a line that is parallel to the line of marriage. That is called line of siblings, like sisters and brothers. So line of sibling is parallel to the line of marriage, and this line of offspring is perpendicular to these two. Now we have to identify the nature of the transmission. So first we shall study, I will take the red color. So first we have to confirm whether it is a recessive or dominant. You can see here, first generation, now we can use Roman for denoting generation, like first, second, third, fourth, like that. And we use the 1, 2 numbers. So Roman for the generation and normal number for the individual. So if I say 2, 1 or 2, 2, it denotes this and this. So you can see it is definitely a recessive kind of pedigree, because you can see there is a skipping of generation. Means in this generation there is not a single parent is affected, but here you can see the affected person. Again there is a skipping, so not a single member of this third generation is affected, and here again you have a affected member like 4-1, 4-3 and 4-9. So it is a recessive trait definitely. Now we know there are two different types of recessive case is possible: X-linked recessive and autosomal recessive. It cannot be Y-linked recessive, as we have discussed. Y chromosome or Hollandric gene cannot be inherited in the recessive manner because it is present only in the male. So whenever it is present, it will definitely express. So it will be definitely always dominant. Then how to approach? Now you know this pedigree chart will be either recessive, that is autosomal, or it is either X-linked recessive. But we know one property of the X-linked recessive trait that we will be again studying, that X-linked recessive trait shows a very important characteristics called crisscross inheritance. Point to be noted, and that is the take-home message, that X-linked recessive trait tend to show crisscross inheritance. What does it mean? It means it is the transmission of the gene. Suppose you have a gene, and this gene will be transmitted from male parents through the female daughter to the male grandchild. What does it mean? It means you have a gene that is X-linked recessive trait. So it is X-linked recessive trait. So whenever it is get expressed to the male, suppose this is the male child and its chromosome complement is like XY, total 46 chromosomes are there. Now this is the allosome part, sex chromosome part, so X and Y. Now whenever this X-linked recessive gene is present, so it will definitely express it. So male will be affected, female will be the carrier, and male will be the, again, grandchild will be the affected. This mode of transmission is called crisscross inheritance, that we'll study in the future slides. But you cannot see here, like male is affected, where you cannot see any transmission like this. Here female is affected, then male is okay, then again male and female both affected. So you cannot see no crisscross inheritance. So it cannot be, by elimination we can say it is not X-linked, so definitely it is Y-linked recessive. We will be discussing the future pedigree chart, so it will be clear for you. The example part is very important for the exam. You can use this method to remember EIR caps. So autosomal recessive traits, the acronyms are CAPS, cystic fibrosis, albinism, PKU, and sickle cell anemia or SCA. So sickle shaped anemia, it is autosomal recessive trait. It doesn't show any X-linked recessive inheritance. And if you have a question directly, it is a pedigree of PKU or cystic fibrosis, you can directly answer that this is a autosomal recessive trait. So another property, both sexes are affected, males and female. There is no biasness. You cannot say more males are affected or more females are affected. If you study the entire pedigree, 2 females are affected here and 2 males. So 2 males and 2 females. There is no biasness. Equality is there, and trait can skip generation, that is already executed. Next. Then we have to study the another type of pedigree, that is a dominant. So there you cannot see any kind of skipping of generations. So first, second, third, fourth, there is a no skipping generation. It means affected parents they have at least one affected offspring. So now it is confirmed that it is dominant. So now there could be 3 possibilities: Y-linked dominant, X-linked dominant, and autosomal dominant. As it cannot be Y-linked dominant, because in Y-linked dominant all males are affected, so cross. So either it could be X-linked dominant or it could be autosomal dominant. Now we shall take X-linked dominant. So we know XX is for the females and XX chromosomal complement is for the males. Now suppose it is X-linked dominant, then what will happen? Look at it very carefully. If the male is affected in any case, so if it is X-linked dominant and male is affected, and if it is get married with a female, and what will happen? All the females, if this father have a 2 daughter, all the females will be affected. Why it will happen? Because X-linked dominant trait, it will dominate the other X chromosome. Now what will happen here? XD and X. So this X chromosome will dominate this small x in this daughter, and for the second daughter also, the defected gene will be expressed. So what will happen? If you search for a, first in this kind of pedigree, you have to search for a male. Now this male is here as 3 generation, and you can see few males, only one male is affected, few females are affected, no, only one female is affected, and many of the females are not affected by the genetic disorder. That means it cannot be, in any case, it cannot be X-linked dominant. So definitely it will be autosomal dominant. Correct? So autosomal dominant means I can write it here like this. I can write it here. It could be a carrier, A small a or small a, whatever. Now you can go back across it. So it will be like A and again capital A. So it will go on like that. So both sexes are affected, no biasness. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 females are affected and 3 males are affected. It is not that key 10 females and only 1 male, and no skipping of generation, but the easiest way that I have discussed, it will take maximum 30 seconds to study a pedigree. Next one, example, autosomal dominant is MD, HH, BP. That we have to remember for the exam purpose, like polydactyly, more than 5 fingers, Huntington disease. So it will be inherited by the autosomals. What are autosomes? Like first chromosomes, third chromosome, fifth chromosome. These are autosomes, not XY. Huntington chorea disease, nail patella syndrome, brachydactyly, shortening of the fingers, like myotonic dystrophy, hypertrichosis, hair loss and overexpression of the hairs, like that. Hypo means less, hypertrichosis is Y-linked. Hypertrichosis is the Y-linked. But here hypo, hair loss, that is your autosomal dominant trait. So simply, if you have given a question, it is a pedigree of myotonic dystrophy, so without solving, you can say this is autosomal dominant. So myotonic dystrophy MD, hypertrichosis, HH, hypertrichosis, and Huntington disease, then B for the brachydactyly and P for the polydactyly. As simple as this. Next we shall come to the chromosomal linked recessive, that is X-linked. Suppose you have not given this option, you have to identify a pedigree. First step will be same for all analysis. First we'll study if there is any skipping of generation. Yes, you can see here there is a skipping of generation. Like affected parents have not affected offspring, and you can see here affected offspring without any affected parent. So there is a skipping of generation. It must be recessive. Now we know there are two different types of recessive: X-linked recessive and autosomal recessive. Y-linked recessive is impossible. Next, we shall search for crisscross inheritance. Only one criteria I will take. So you can see here the male is affected and female, she is the carrier, she is the daughter. So gene transmission from the male parent to his grandson, through his daughter. So that is the mode of crisscross inheritance. Or you can see here, this gene is also inherited, daughter, like parent women, to his daughter and to his grandson. So best way we will study this one: male to male through female, but female is not affected. This is the one simple way to study the crisscross inheritance patterns. So if this pattern is present, definitely you can say this is a X-linked recessive and not the autosomal recessive. So what should be the pedigree over here? So this is XY. It is X-linked recessive. So XR, this is the recessive. Now what will happen? She will be the carrier. This one is a X and XR. So she is carrier, so not affected. But what will happen for this case? He will receive the defected gene here. So XRY. So he is affected. Now he is transmitting the phenotype in the 3-3. So his daughter will be the carrier XR. XR is the affected gene. Now again it will be transmitted to the XRY. Correct? So it will show the trait. So transmission is happening here by 2 to 3 daughter to the 4 to grandson. So this is the mode of crisscross transmission. Again you can see the crisscross transmission here, but at least one means it is confirmed that this is the X-linked recessive. For example, you know, color blindness, hemophilia, these are very famous example of the X-linked recessive. We used to remember it like a bloody blind XR. Bloody means continuous bleeding, that is the hemophilia, and blind is the color blindness. Also, you can go for a testicular feminization where the XY shows a female phenotype, that is also caused due to the X-linked recessive inheritance. So color blindness, muscular dystrophy, and the hemophilia, these are three major examples of the X-linked recessive. Last but not the least, X chromosome linked dominant. Now, you first check the same way whether there is a skipping of generation. No, you cannot see there is a no skipping of generation. So at least one person is affected from each parent. Now this is not a skipping of generation because both are unaffected. Here one affected parent definitely transmitting her gene to its offspring. So there is also no skipping of generation. Next, it could be Y-linked, it could be X-linked, or it could be autosomal. Now again we will study it cannot be Y-linked because in Y-linked only the males are affected. Again we will study that patterns. Search for a male. Search a male. If it is dominant, search for a male. So here is a male, and you can see both of his daughter is affected. So it proves that, now again you see here, male is not affected, but not a single daughter is affected. It means there is a high possibility it could be X-linked dominant. So what will be the phenotype here? X or Y. So this is your dominant trait, X. I'm putting a blue color as a star here. Now this will be expressed here as X star, and also she will express X star. So this will dominate the other genes, other X gene. So the all female daughter will express the trait if it is inherited from the father. Again you see if the female is like affected here, X dominant and X here, partiality will be there. Some female could be affected, some female may not be affected. Why? Because his father is totally okay. So this phenotype will be like this XX. So there is a partiality, male and female, both will be affected. But here you can see not a single girl is free from the trait. But if the mother is affected, definitely either male or female might be affected. You can go for the percentage calculation. In future video we can study the percentage calculation, what is the ratio of it. So the simple examples they have given, like the vitamin D deficiency, ricket, hypophosphatemia. These are the simple example of the X-linked dominant trait. Symbolism is like that. You can draw one X chromosome and you write it here D. Also remember D is the vitamin D deficiency, ricket. Next, last, this kind of pedigree is not at all given in the exam because this is the easiest part. All the males are affected here. Not a single female is affected and there is a no skip. So it is the definitely Y-linked inheritance. They will not ask you this kind of question. This Y-linked inheritance is also called as a hollandric inheritance. Andric means only the males are affected. If I say hologynic, then females. So hollandric is the name for the male's inheritance. Hairy pinna and bilateral radioulnar synostosis is an example of the example for the Y-linked inheritance. What does it mean? If a male not in females, have humerus, ulna and radius and bones, and this ulna and radius are fused, that state is known as bilateral radioulnar synostosis. So synostosis is the fused form. Now if the father is here with this defect or hairy pinna, all his son will born with fused radioulna. Here you can see. But you can say, you can ask me why this male is not affected, because this is not from this father, it is outside. So this daughter get married with the another person. Here is the daughter get married with the another person, but all his son and grandchild will be affected, and great grandfather of this fourth, 3 generations like this. Last part that I wish to discuss with you, that is the mitochondrial inheritance, and this is very much interesting kind of inheritance that could be transmitted by the mitochondria. To understand it, we have to understand the zygote formation. So as we know, in female, ova is produced and male contributing the sperm nucleus only. So male doesn't contribute mitochondria through its sperm. So definitely all the mitochondria that we have all coming from the mother. So all the mitochondria, cytoplasm that we are having right now, that is from the mother, but father is only contributing the chromosome. So you can see, if the female is affected, his son, all the son and daughter will be affected. So if you take the women, all his son and daughter is affected. But if the male is affected, the sperm cannot transfer the mitochondria to anybody, so nobody will be affected. Yes, so here the ovum carrying the mitochondria, that will be transmitted to the male and to daughters. Here one female is affected, So what will happen? 8, 9, 10, 11, all offspring will carry the mitochondrial inheritance. So this is the beautiful example of mitochondrial pedigree. And mitochondrial myopathy and maternally inherited diabetes and deafness. In separate video, we shall be discussing about the deafness and diabetes. So how it could be inherited by the this mitochondria, the organelles. Then gender effect on phenotype, how it actually influence the thing like sex limited inheritance, that trait affected by the hormones. Certain growth hormones can influence a certain trait. So only one gender, either male or the female, for example, the beard growth in the males and the breast size in the female. So it is a monopoly for a certain kind of a trait. Other gender is not that much affected or not at all affected. It is typically autosomal, but the expression of these genes is dependent on the gender of the individual. So the gene is present, but expression is dependent on the gender. That is why it is limited. It is limited, not influenced. It is limited by the certain gender. So like if you say long beard in males, so the genes are present also in the female, but it will not be expressed in that way. Similarly, the breast size, so you can say it is a sex-limited inheritance. On the contrary, sex-influenced inheritance are trait affected by hormones, but the gender of the individual determines whether the particular phenotype assumes the dominant or recessive trait. For example, if I say baldness, so if it is a male, that will influence the baldness in more degree. It is in more degree, so it is influenced by the particular gender. So gender of the individual determines whether a particular phenotype assumes dominant or recessive state. So phenotype that is dominant in one gender is recessive to the other gender. So you can hardly see a woman that have a pattern baldness. But the flaws, what are the defect and problems while you are studying or doing practical in pedigree? Poor medical records. Very few people provide you the correct medical records of his history. Very few person can provide you the proper medical history of a particular genetic trait. We have bank accounts, we have different kind of records, like you have a property, you have complete records of those things, and you are carrying some information regarding any financial aspect from generation after generation, traditions like that, cultures, memes, but we hardly carry the records of the disease. That is the main fault. So you cannot study the pedigree in that way. Scattering of family members, many family members scattered in different abroad or India, different places. So even in space also they are scattering. So you cannot gather the proper family offspring number. Another problem is that inaccurate anecdotal information. Anecdotal means, suppose you are saying, perhaps my grandfather was color blind, so I am blind. So this kind of irrelevant and totally baseless information you are gathering, you cannot use the word perhaps. You have to be confirmed and it should be research based. Miscarriage and stillbirth, or like sex unspecified, infidelity and concealed adoptions. So suppose someone has adopted somebody, some daughter or son, so they will show some different trait because these are concealed adoption. Variable expressivity of the genotype. Now there is a penetrance and expressivity that will be discussed in the separate video. So due to that, the genotype is present, but they express in a different manner. So you can see the phenotypic variation. Incomplete penetrance of the genotype and expressivity can alter, and if you have a mixed genetic trait, that will create a huge problem in the pedigree. Okay, so this is your Brain Buffer Biology channel, and I feel it will definitely help you to solve a given pedigree in a certain amount of time. And you can also go for a basic principle, that basic rules. First you search for it is a dominant or it is a recessive trait. Then you go for the direction that we have already solved with the 5 ways. You can also like, share and subscribe to my channel if you want. And also in this pandemic situation, I pray for your good health. You stay tuned, stay healthy and stay happy always. See you in the next video. Thank you for listening.